towards the end of last year, we started to look at our meetup strategy and realized, our teams internally as well as our community members were spending a lot of time creating presentations and content for these in-person meetups that would maybe get 20 to 40 people, sometimes even less. There was a decline in meetup attendance, and we wanted to see if there was a way for us to stretch out the content that these great people were building. We decided to test out a virtual meetup where instead of going to San Francisco and presenting to maybe 20 people, we can present online to hundreds, if not thousands, across the world.
Welcome to Hedera Hashgraph's Gossip About Gossip. If you are a developer, an entrepreneur, crypto enthusiast, or just trying to learn more about how distributed ledger technology and Hedera Hashgraph will impact your industry, then you'll love the episodes that we have coming up. Bookmark us, add us to your podcast app, and stay tuned.
Hello, everybody. My name is Christian Hasker, and I head up marketing here at Hedera Hashgraph. I sure hope that you are staying well wherever you are in the world and that you're staying connected to friends and family and your communities. And it's that topic that we're going to be talking a little bit about today. And I'm delighted to have with me Lina Tran, who heads up all of our community initiatives here at Hedera. Welcome, Lina. You've been doing this for quite some time now. How did you get started on community development?
Hey, Christian. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for having me on and hope everybody's doing well. So yeah, I started community management a little under 7 years ago at a company called DataStax. And, once I started there, I was a community specialist and my role was to kind of grow and foster our in-person meetups in North America and South America. After doing that for a few years and thoroughly enjoying it, I moved on to do some more corporate events. And from there, I shifted to doing, a hybrid of the two, where I was doing corporate events and community building.
Lina, crazy times we're living in, and I know people are really scrambling to move physical events to online events. And that was a direction that you were moving in anyway, especially around going from physical meetups to virtual meetups. Can you talk a little bit about what the impetus for doing that was and, maybe a couple of things you've learnt along the way?
Yeah. So, towards the end of last year, we started to look at our meetup strategy and realized, our teams internally as well as our community members were spending a lot of time creating presentations and content for these in-person meetups that would maybe get 20 to 40 people, sometimes even less. Over time, we realized there was a decline in meetup attendance, and we wanted to see if there was a way for us to stretch out the content that these great people were building. And after a couple of brainstorms, we decided to test out a virtual meetup where instead of going to San Francisco and presenting to maybe 20 people, we can present online to hundreds, if not thousands, across the world. So a couple of things we've learned is with this virtual meetup, and I think with any meetup too, is you have to have great content. That's one thing that most people want to see. We as a company are now trying to educate and enable developers globally on a technology that may be very new to a lot of people. And so making sure that your content is great, making sure that you're allowing people to participate, and you have spaces where these people can communicate with you outside of this virtual meetup is a big thing that we've learned.
Lina, you talk about content and how important good content is. How can you get your community participants involved in, developing content for you?
So we have a couple of programs in Hedera. We are fairly lucky in that we have a couple of core people building on Hedera now, and some even not building, but just really excited about the technology, who want to share what they're building. So we are there to just kind of enable them and kind of guide them along with their ideas. We also have a program called Hedera Heroes Program, where we are rewarding anybody who builds any sort of content to share with the community in HBARs, which is our native currency. We're doing that, and kind of offering up mentorship hours to kind of help people create better content as well.
Great. So it is a good opportunity for anyone right now to use technical virtual meetups as a way to build your own personal brands so that, that really can help foster your career over time as well. So Lina, outside of virtual meetups, you need tooling to be able to put them on. Is it hard? Is it expensive? What do you recommend there?
Yeah, so it can be very inexpensive. So this is kind of the tool sets that we use here. Obviously, feel free to use whatever you think is best because I think there's a wide variety of tools that you can use now. But we use a combination of Zoom and YouTube. So we have all of our presenters join on a Zoom link and then we feed that to YouTube Live. And then the great thing about YouTube Live is as long as somebody has a YouTube account, they can go into the chat box, ask questions, and the meetup is still interactive. So it's not just somebody presents and that's it. People can ask questions, people can participate.
As Lina mentioned, we do have a corporate account for Zoom, but I think right now anyone can sign up for Zoom and get access to 100 participants. So you can do that at zoom.us. Lina, beyond virtual meetups, which are great and a good way to build your community. Well, actually, before I ask this next question, let me ask this question. If you have a tiny community, maybe dozens, not hundreds, is this a good strategy to go down doing a virtual meetup? Should you worry if just a couple of people attend? What would your recommendation be there?
I think no, you should not worry at all. Communities take time to build. It takes time to get to 100, let alone 1,000. So I think you should definitely not wait to do something like this. I think just the great thing too about doing the virtual meetups, and especially if you're using something like YouTube Live, your meetup content automatically gets recorded and it gets saved to your YouTube channel. So whether somebody joins your community tomorrow or they join 3 years from now, they can go back and look at this content. So you don't have to wait for it to be that large to do this. Somebody later on down the line can go back and watch it and learn.
So I'll ask my next question, which is, you have some experience with physical hackathons, and developers love to attend a physical hackathon, learn a new technology, hack away on it, possibly win something, but more importantly, meet new people, new developers, like-minded people. I think you're also planning a virtual hackathon. Can you talk a little bit about that? Maybe how people can get involved?
Yeah, of course. All the points you just said, right? Developers love meeting new people. They love learning new tech. And when we were thinking about this virtual meetup and our plans for that, we were trying to figure out how we can get developers across the world involved in a hackathon. In 2018, we did an in-person event where people can participate in a hackathon, but only at certain cities. And based on feedback we got from our community where people were like, we want to participate, but we couldn't fly to any of those cities. Can you guys do something else? So we decided to do a virtual hackathon where anybody across the world can join. It's great because it's anybody from, for example, the US can join a team with somebody from Singapore and make new friends that way. So you can sign up for this hackathon starting on April 1st. The hackathon will begin May 1st and end on June 12th. So it will be a 6-week hackathon. So you will have time to build an amazing DApp, not just a weekend to kind of scrap things together. And the platform itself will be very collaborative where you can find anybody from across the world to join your team. So it's a great way for you to network. Even if you don't know anything about Hedera, don't know blockchain or DLT at all, this is a great starting point for you. So because we will have content and tutorials to help you get started.
And even if it's not our virtual hackathon that you attend because your skill set is different, I'm pretty sure that in the coming weeks and months, other companies are going to be putting on virtual hackathons and moving in this direction. So definitely keep your ear to the ground and stay tuned. Lina, before we go today, maybe you can summarize all of this about building online communities with 3 top tips for people to keep in mind.
Yeah, so when thinking about it, one of the biggest things is try to adapt. Most of us are used to doing a one-to-one approach, with meetups or any in-person meetings. I think everybody needs to shift their mindset to adapt a one-to-many approach, right? If you think about our virtual meetups, right? When you went in person to a meetup, you did maybe 1 to 20. Now with a virtual meetup, you can do 1 to thousands, if not hundreds. And so kind of shifting your mindset and see how you can rearrange some of your content and things to reach more people. And then maybe there's some people in your community that don't like to watch videos. They want to read a blog instead. You can take the content you've built for the virtual meetup and the recording and turn it into a blog post, turn it into a tutorial, turn it into other mediums so you can reach more people and, the medium that they choose to learn from. Another thing is to, be accessible to your community. Give them various mediums to reach out to you or any members of your team. Our team kind of lives on various different platforms. You can reach a lot of our team on Twitter. There's Stack Overflow, there's GitHub. We have a Discord channel for developers. We have, Telegram if you're more of the enthusiast side of our community. And another thing too is, find out where your community lives, where they like to be. Are they all on GitHub? Are they on Stack Overflow? Are they on a Slack channel? Try to go to where they are instead of trying to retrofit them into a technology that you want them to use. We had experience before where we decided to create this brand new forum and wanted our community to shift and start contributing on that. And we realized that wasn't the right fit for them. They liked being in the certain places that they were. We just had to adapt and go to where they were going to be.
So some great tips there, Lina. And you talked about being accessible to your community. I know if anyone is listening and wants to reach out to you and get more tips and tricks or advice, that you'd be more than happy to do so. So how can people reach out to you, Lina?
Yeah, you can email me. So my email is Lina, so Lina @hedera.com, or on Twitter I am Where's Lina. You can reach out to me in either one of those platforms, and I'd be more than happy to chat more.
Lina, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this podcast. Again, wherever you are in the world, please be safe and well. And we look forward to seeing you online, either at our next virtual meetup and at our virtual hackathon. So we really look forward to welcoming you, whether you are an existing community member or brand new to Hedera.
Thank you for listening to Hedera Hashgraph's Gossip About Gossip. If you liked the episode, please subscribe, rate and review, and also share and tell your friends.
Or connect with us on social media like Twitter, Instagram, etc. at Hashgraph, particularly if you want to leave us feedback on the podcast. We look forward to hearing from you.